My name is Josh Kroner, chef and owner of Terrapin Restaurant in Rhinebeck, New York. The passion for cooking that's in me comes from my family. It started with my grandfather, who was an Italian immigrant. He was a chef trained in France who started a restaurant in upstate New York, just like I did 50 years later. My mother picked up this passion for cooking too, and she worked in his restaurant and developed a love and passion for cooking that she would later pass on to me. In fact, when I was 6 years old, I developed my own bread recipe. My mother was an artist and she used to do craft shows a lot, and I produced this bread in these little loaves and sold it at the craft shows when I was 6 years old. I still actually have this recipe. My mother has been great for me in the restaurant business as well. When I first started out and I really didn't know what I was doing, I had my mother actually come in and work the line with me. Now the restaurant's gotten so big, but she still has a role here. She can't let it go. She actually comes here every Friday and does all the flowers in the restaurant. I mean, it's incredible. She's 72, but she just keeps going. Passing her love of cooking on to me is something that I want to do with my kids too. I have two great little girls that I'm already working with in the kitchen. They're 4 and 6, but I've got a little chef code for Juliet. She loves to bake, just like I did at her age too. So this is something that's going to keep going on through the generations. After graduating as an engineer in Colorado, I moved back to New York and enrolled at the French Culinary Institute to become a chef. While I was at the French Culinary Institute, I was able to get a job at the TV Food Network. It was a great experience for me to be able to work on TV and work with the TV chefs such as Emeril. At that point, I was able to meet up with Bobby Flay and get a job at Mesa Grill. The experience that I had there was wonderful, working with one of the top chefs in the country, one of the top restaurants in New York City, and feeling that pressure, the drive, the intensity. My philosophy about food: what's truly important isn't that you've come up with something that nobody's ever done before. What's truly important is that when you put that plate forward, that you're going to make somebody happy with your food. I love to eat, and I love to go to good restaurants. I love everything about food. So when I'm preparing food and making dishes, I'm basically thinking about, is this food going to taste good? Now, the second thing about food, which is so important to me, are the ingredients. Where does this food come from is just as important as where it arrives on the plate. I go to the farmer's market right here in Rhinebeck, so I'm able to just take off every Sunday and just go right over there and meet the farmers. And that's an incredible thing, to be able to know where your food is coming from. Not just, hey, this plate tastes good, but this plate is good. The dish I am going to prepare for you today is the horseradish crusted ahi tuna with miso aioli. This is a signature dish at my restaurant and one of the most popular dishes since I opened up 11 years ago. If I tried to take this dish off my menu, I would have a major uprising amongst my customers, so I'm not going to do that, but I will prepare it for you today. I'm going to take a #1 piece of tuna, crust it with a horseradish and breadcrumb topping. I've got a nice hot pan, some oil in it. Place the tuna in there. And what I'm looking for is a nice, crispy brown crust. Okay, so we're going to start with the bed of the sauteed bok choy and oyster mushrooms. Now I'm going to use a tortilla that I fried on top. And I'm going to take my miso aioli. Now the garnish that I cut earlier is going to come in handy. Horseradish crusted ahi tuna with miso aioli. My name is Josh Kroner, chef and owner of Terrapin Restaurant in Rhinebeck, New York.